There's a free trial. Check out the private Discord server, Patreon link below. One of our traders made 142% last week with just one trade. Okay, we gotta talk about what's going on with us Americans, guys. 56 million Americans have been in credit card debt for at least a year. And 56 million of us, that's a huge number, right? If you exclude the people who are under 18 that can't get credit cards, if you also look at the Americans out there, a little over 300 million of us, we are kind of screwed. Credit card debt is at an all-time high at $1.1 trillion, and it's still rising. Over the past 2 years, Americans' credit card balances have skyrocketed by 40%. Americans are managing their credit card debt pretty well, all things considered. But if you look at some of the Americans out there, it's crazy. I mean, I know people who don't even make that much money buying like a $3,000 TV. They slap on the credit card, buy now, pay later type of deal. It seems like the most popular options these days. Almost a third of Americans that are earning $150,000 a year or more are literally living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of these guys use credit cards to close the gap. Now, I'm sure everyone wants to be making $10,000, $12,000 a month. $150,000 a year is a lot of money, but a third of them aren't really making that much. So with Americans being this broke, like all the time, are people really buying houses? Are rents really going up? Not really, right? Rents are actually suffering a lot. Many of the rents out there are just dropping like a rock, with the most recent Redfin report stating that rents actually went down 1% so far in the past 30 days, and it will continue to drop. In fact, some areas are dropping more than others. Developers are also building a lot of homes like crazy, and many of these homes, I don't know, nobody wants them. You got a bunch of new construction homes, $200K, $300K, $400K, $500K, but Americans are too broke to buy these. Like I showed you before, the people who are making $150,000 a year are going to be the guys who can afford these homes that are like $300,000, $400,000 or even $500,000, right? But when you have people making a decent amount of six-figure income, living paycheck to paycheck and relying on credit cards, not really so good. We're seeing the U.S. economy being overstretched. We're seeing a lot of people just not making enough money. And we're also getting mortgage REITs like JER filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It's a big deal because this is a mortgage REIT, and they have a string of commercial properties getting taken out. And why is commercial property doing so bad? Many companies are moving online, and there's a lot of job layoffs. Americans right now are feeling the heat. They're very, very scared about this whole situation because we have high debts. Companies are laying off high-paying jobs, and yes, you probably have seen unemployment going down, but let's be real, unemployment's going down because low-paying jobs, like your Starbucks jobs, are very easy to find, but high-paying jobs, we're talking about like Google, Spotify, Amazon, are very difficult to find. If you want jobs that are paying you like 100 G's or at least 80 G's a year, you're going to need to get these high-paying jobs from these tech companies. And these tech companies are not hiring, but instead tech companies are laying off employees. We're seeing a lot of debt. And Americans, many of them feel hopeless. They're taking out multiple credit cards. They're just buying a bunch of things. And if you look at the recent Black Friday with Adobe, you probably see that we spent a record $9.8 billion online on Black Friday, and just online only from Adobe Analytics. Seems like consumers just don't care anymore. Nobody really cares too much about the future financials. We all just want to buy things now and spend it later. And Black Friday really shows that Americans are really spending like there's no tomorrow. And 56 million Americans, well, some of them, they're going through debt. There's unemployment. Some places still have pretty decent high rents. Interest rates are still pretty high. And also, if you look at the repos and the amount of cars being taken away, it's also at an all-time high. Things are not looking so great. We're also seeing a lot of the economic divide that's happening, and even guys like Blackstone and BlackRock getting a little bit scared of the real estate market, and even some of them offloading some properties to feel a little bit safer this year. But so far, let's see what happens. When we owe $1.1 trillion of credit card debt, the credit card companies want that money back. They want that money back real bad. But then when you have people start defaulting, that's when things start getting pretty crazy. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment below, and see you later.